my god. There we are. Okay.
Like,
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Yes. You're tagged as long lost friend.
Well, I think I
So good.
think of myself as a long lost friend.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I feel lost.
Mhm.
It's been a long time, but I am a friend. So.
Okay, so let's explain. So today, well, this week we're like, okay, we have to do a Twitch stream
It's
because
the law.
we won't miss a week, and Matt is not there because
No.
he's at Comic-Con.
He's decided he would much rather be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Today.
Well, Comic-Con is pretty cool, so he's at Comic-Con.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So then we're like, well, maybe not Queen, maybe she would do the Twitch, but she's at Comic-Con.
She is?
She's at Comic-Con.
I see.
So that doesn't work. So we're like, well, maybe we could have Orvat do like some crazy perk
Yeah.
definition
that's
and
always
rebalance, and he's at Comic Con. So like,
gonna
well,
do?
we have no choice. It's gonna be Dave, and it's gonna be Ash.
It's a bit like the old days, if for those who remember the old days, that is.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while.
So what exactly are you doing on the game?
Oh, well, I am doing absolutely nothing on the game, which makes this a
Great.
particularly useful thing. So I will be answering all the questions in the best, most serious voice I can muster, with no knowledge or information on what they might mean. So that I hope that will help everyone. Actually, hopefully you will jump in and actually.
Especially hardcore technical questions.
The more hardcore and more technical, it's almost guaranteed the more ridiculous an answer I will give.
That's great.
But however, then.
No, seriously, for those who don't know, Ash was the the creative director that started it all on this
It was
project.
a while ago, yeah.
Yeah.
So started from the beginning, and then Dave ran it.
Yeah. So,
marvelously since
and
then.
why are you not there anymore?
Why am I not aware? Because I'm somewhere else now, as I have been for a while, and that's why if you don't know me, hi everybody, and if you remember me, hello, it's nice to see you again. But I've been somewhere else, which I can't really talk about right now, but sometime soonish, hopefully I will be able to. But it's been a very exciting time. Hopefully at some point I'll be able to tell everyone. This is life in the video game industry, right? It's like you spend a year and a half in a submarine, unable to communicate with anyone about anything, and then suddenly you surface and go, look, ta-da! So yeah, it's been, I can't say anything. You could
No.
try that, you should try.
No, the behavior submarine is an awful place to be.
It's it's underwater.
Yeah,
that's
so
for
hard.
sure.
Commute is horrible.
Well, it's metal and encased. Kind of like
Okay.
us here. Hello.
Yeah, well, Ash and myself have been working together for forever until recently. So we have a lot in common from a lot of games we worked on together.
That's right. This is not our first rodeo,
Yeah.
is what they say in the video game trade.
So today we can actually talk about Dead by Daylight, especially the past of Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, I
mostly.
think,
So inspiration, lore, how did we work at the beginning? I can talk a little bit about events that are coming, but not too much. This is going to be for Matt next week.
It's a bit of a, as you said, blast from the past episode.
yeah.
So we could, probably that's our area of expertise is the past.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's fair to say.
Yes.
So. Well, we can help what we can.
Yeah. So shoot your questions on the Twitch, and our Muds is gonna tell us anything that's pertinent. Actually,
Sure.
we have to present the Muds as always. I'm trying to find them. Azeu, Bucket, Clyde, Ryu T. This is someone I don't know. Sassy UK, Shiroku, Suggestive, and Sujan are here today. So thank you very much for your help. There's Bjorn, obviously. He said earlier that he's part of the problem, not the solution. Don't drink too much water. Okay. Actually, I have just a couple of news before we go
You have
into
news?
shenanigans. Just a little bit. I've asked everybody on Twitter to tell us what we should talk about. And I didn't get a lot of really, really good answers. But there's some good questions that I can answer right now. So is there going to be an event for Halloween? Can we talk about the event? There will be surprises for Halloween. Obviously, Dead by Daylight, our game, Halloween is important for us.
Does seem relevant.
Yeah, we've prepared a few surprises. I've heard rumors out there like quadruple blood point.
Rumors.
That's
I like
just
rumors.
Just rumors. But yeah, so can't talk about it. But yeah, it's coming. We're gonna have a lot of fun during the holiday. Other thing very important about the progression issue that's been.
You have issues?
There has been issues.
I see.
You know, that's actually part of the past. You know about.
I do know about those issues. That's true.
The team would like to thank the community about this issue because you've helped us a lot in finding what it is. So we actually have a solution to push out. Hopefully it's going to be this week. We're trying to make that ASAP. It's going to come out on the various platforms in time. So this is exciting. Hopefully we can get rid of this awful issue. And that's it. I think that's...
Well, making multiplayer games can be complicated, finding these bugs. If I said the word trombone to you...
Tromboning.
Tromboning.
I would remember what that is.
Which was a debug method we had to resort to on our first ever multiplayer game.
Yeah. So first ever multiplayer game experience for both of us, and I think for the whole company.
Yeah, maybe.
I think was Naughty Bear 1.
Yep. We were tasked with a tight deadline, I think it's fair to say, to turn a single player game into a multiplayer game. And it was pretty exciting, to say the least. But as it turns out, when you are making a multiplayer game, it was kind of before the days when you just bought a multiplayer engine and things mostly worked out. But even then, it was tough. So we had to do everything ourselves. And one of the things we had to do was try and work out, with all the interactions in our game, why it kept desyncing. So it would basically, there'd be an interaction and it wouldn't be replicated on one machine. I don't even know. This is why they don't let me talk about technical stuff. And it would crash the game every single time. And any single interaction on the game with any single person at all may or may not have caused the game to crash. So you'd be playing the game, we'd be testing late at night, and then suddenly the game would crash. And we'd be like, well, what were you doing? We couldn't work it out. We'd have to play for hours to try and replicate it. And eventually, boredom set in and we decided to try and automate it ourselves.
Yeah.
And we got a paper clip, which for some reason we called a trombone.
Because that's the French. It's called a trombone. The thing is called and I didn't know how to call it, so I just told you the French word with an English accent. It's a trombone.
I just thought it was a great name.
Yeah.
And we would rig up our controller to just like run to the right, effectively, and then go and get a cup of coffee.
Yeah. So we had to use the paperclip on the two joystick, right?
Yeah,
so
it was on the...
The character would just run around.
It was running in circles and
And then eventually it would desync.
Yeah, and or we'd have to try and test a bug where one character was moving and another one was hitting, and you'd have to...
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
It was insanity.
That was life in development.
12-hour days of tromboning.
Yeah, constant, relentless tromboning.
Oh wait, we have questions.
Oh yeah? About tromboning?
No. Ash standoff, fix when? I don't have any dates about this, but yes, it's something that we want to fix. Does Bjorn have a picture of the new Dead by Daylight sneakers? Oh, maybe you could try and find it, Bjorn. Actually, it's on Twitter. Yeah, we've just shown at Comic-Con a limited edition sneaker. It's actually really cool. It's the bloodletting sneaker, so the same image that is on the bloodletting shirt. So black sneakers with the red bloodletting. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Bjorn is getting it. It's really cool. Is there one change made to DBD in the past that you wished had remained in the game? That's a great question.
That has got to give us. We must have.
From Arson00. Yeah, let me think about that.
I mean, a lot has made it in now.
Yeah, upon release, things were cut so that we could make it happen. But then with time, that's the beauty of live.
I mean, the last killer finally put in the hatchet.
Yeah.
Which was in the original. It was in the original prototype. It was one of the first Powers ever prototype. Yeah,
we've shown this in the anniversary Twitch. If you ever want to see it. Oh, here's the shoes.
Oh. Look at that.
They don't actually come in a glass box.
No?
You can actually wear them.
You can actually put your feet in them.
Yes. So there you go.
Or alternatively, put them on your feet, whichever one you want to do.
Yeah.
So what was it? So anything that got cut that we want to keep? Was that basically it?
In the past that you wish had remained? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
or a change, not necessarily a cut, but it's something that changed.
There was like all development in those early days, there were so many ideas and whiteboards about so many things. I think there was.
Oh, I know what it is. That's the thing you say every time. Think about
Cheese? More cheese?
No.
What was it?
The lobby.
Yeah, the lobby. Oh, the live lobby. Yeah, that would have
Yeah,
been.
live lobby.
Yeah, if it had been like a more like when you enter the game, that was it. Like that would definitely got cut, even in concept.
Yes.
It didn't even make it. Like the ability to be walking around by the campfire at the beginning. When you leave, you come back to the place. A more seamless social hub would have been something that I really wanted or pushed for at the time that we never quite made.
Yeah, it was a big thing to develop, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember anything.
You have no memory of it.
don't
I have a
remember
very
anything.
hazy memory of it.
Do you have a set lore structure, or do you have to sort of attach things as you go? For the lore, I think that it's half and half, I'd say.
There certainly was a period where we were attaching things as we went, but we tried to adhere to a structure.
Yes.
I mean, we had a plan
Yes.
of the lore.
Yes.
We knew what we wanted to do, and then even during that, we knew we were going to have to support at least the concept of licensed ideas within that
Yes.
lore.
Yes.
So, I mean, we kept it pretty wide open.
Yeah, we built some sort of skeleton, really.
Yeah.
A core that's solid, on which we can attach pretty much whatever we need.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's fair to say there's still a lot about it, unless you've shared it all, I don't know now, but like there's still a lot about it that is still in that document that is not in the world.
yeah, absolutely. And I think we'll explore more as we go.
I mean, keeping the mystery as part of like it's not just keep the mystery for the sake of ooh-ah and whatever. It's like it enables us to have a framework that we can consistently grow out of, and ultimately when it comes to the consistency of the lore to some degree or another, as long as it feels right, as long as it doesn't feel like it's shattering the illusion of what you're doing, then keeping that mystery is good because it allows us to everyone to enjoy it more without
Yes.
feeling like why is this happening or whatever. Anyway, it's interesting.
What were our influences, you'd say? About just the story, the base story.
The base story.
I know what it is.
Well, go on then. Go on then.
I know the Dark Tower is one.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure.
Dark Tower is one.
Dark Tower is one.
Yeah. We're
Probably
big fans of the Dark
Yeah.
Tower. So
That
of course
was,
it's part of a...
Yeah, there were others
influences.
though. I mean, you know, ironically, elements of elements of it are, but the elements of it are the Dark Tower. So
Yeah,
no,
there you
no
go.
spoilers. Oops, ruined 7 books. No, kidding. Elements of, I mean, yeah, it's true. Like certain parts of that were definitely driving the core fantasy as well as some other stuff as well.
Yes. Actually, it reminds me we've in the anniversary event we gave weapons to the killers, some of them, and in the description there is a message in entity speak.
Oh, nice.
And people were wondering if that was a thing or if it was just gibberish. It's actually a thing. There will be more in the future of these entity speech, so I'm sure someone somewhere will eventually decipher it. That would be
Well, that's cool. 'Cause that was another thing that was cut that we had planned on was having these messages that were left in the levels
Yeah.
that people would find and then put together
Absolutely,
little pieces
absolutely.
and puzzles. And there was a big plan for that in a whiteboard.
Yeah.
Not in an actual programming
Yes.
feature list. Then we had other issues to
Yeah.
fix.
This is actually something really exciting when you're developing a game. You kind of design in your head the end game, or
Yeah.
the, like in 2 years when people are still gonna play, what's gonna be the exciting thing, and this is still exciting. We've never done
Mhm.
it. There's something there. Eventually, it's gonna happen. Will the entity ever take killer form? Asked by Silver Fox LPS.
In a lore reference, I'd say the entity is taking killer form all the time.
Yeah. Oh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But you mean like I think
an
like,
actual playable
on the
killer.
nose, an actual playable. Again, yes. I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. I don't think so. I
think he's busy.
Uh,
Or she.
If ever we'd have to do that, we'd find a clever solution on how it wouldn't be almighty.
Maybe if the entity completes whatever it is it's doing, maybe then.
Maybe. I like to think of the entity as something that we can't really grasp how it thinks and what it does.
It's
And
not
if it takes
of
physical
our
form,
realm.
it becomes too much of something we can understand.
Exactly. I wouldn't want to. Maybe.
Myrotox is asking, what happened with Benedict Baker?
Now, that is a good question.
Yeah. First of all, I think that there's two parallel lore stories with Benedict Baker.
Yeah, there's a...
that are
conflicting.
Yeah, one
It's
that's
true.
in the 19 something
Yeah.
and one that is in the 18 something.
That's true. The lore itself has become
Yeah.
subject to interpretation.
So
I know which one I know.
yeah, well, Benedict, if you've been following the different releases of all the DLCs that we've been doing, Benedict is still in the realm of the entity because he is experiencing these new realms that are created by the entity. So he's still there.
I think one thing that whether or not it's clear in the game or not is that the entity's realm is out of time.
Yeah, important.
So
Obviously.
if that hasn't been made obvious, it is. So it is possible that you could appear in two different timelines at the same time, if that's the perspective of the person who is looking at it. So it's possible that Benedict is in both times, depending on who is writing about them at the given time. Or it's also possible in the fictional lore that Benedict left the realm and then returned to it at a different time.
Snap! So this is the half where we're making shit up.
Oh yeah. Well, we want to know. Mark it back to this point when the law changed.
So good. Also, do we have any news? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's another question. Are there killer concepts that were later abandoned you wish had stayed in?
Or will yet come in.
Yeah, that's it. That is a hard one to actually talk like that. But we could talk about various ideas that we've seen.
Well, like when we prototyped the original version, probably even before the one which had the really old Unity one-on-one version of the game, there were 9 different killers in that mode.
Yeah.
Like some of them have been amalgamated 3 into 1. One that never made it, or did, was called the Smasher, and that one could just destroy the entire level.
That's so good.
Well, it was good, but after we played it for a lot of time, it was like you would be stealthy and you'd be hiding, and the Smasher would remove the level.
Of course.
In its
so
entirety.
What do you do?
So it kind of
fixable.
ended up with it never quite fitted quite, but it was quite entertaining. We also used to have a climbing mechanic in that Unity demo as well. You climb up on top of stuff, and that was when it was fun, when the Smasher would take away the platform you were standing on. You would chisel all the way around it until there was just one pillar left, and then just whack it and knock you down.
It was good. It's also a technical, oh my god, such a technical issue.
Yeah, it's a mind break.
It would be something completely different to build as a world.
Well, it's true. Like you sometimes you go to the programming team and say, we've got a power, it's going to be amazing. It's going to call the Smasher, and he basically destroys the entire level. And art and programming looks at you, and it just never gets beyond the sentence.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's not.
Yeah, that's one of the issues of retrofitting, well, like an old concept and making it back into a game that's been live for more than a year. Like when we've made the Huntress, the big technical issue was she's gonna throw things anywhere. So we need to make sure that the hatchet will, collide logically everywhere you can.
I mean, it's a really funny thing as well, because like in the original prototype, the original prototype had a vibe that ultimately is very similar to the final vibe, but it's different. And the way people play it is different, and the way the audience perceive it is just, even if it's just slightly different. And having a ranged weapon is not just a case of adding a ranged weapon. It was in the prototype because it was like, it was all like there's 9 different powers and they all kind of do something and it's all good fun and everyone's having a good time, and it was what it was. But the moment the game changes and the moment the game comes live and the moment it becomes interesting to people and competitive and stuff, you can't just add a ranged weapon in. It's like, we don't know. The balance alone is a hell of a thing to deal with.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
We have another question here. Hey guys, I saw the new intro recently after coming back to the game, and I was wondering if you guys ever considered making a web series with the DVD characters or something along those lines. asked by MSK915. Bjorn has left, even though I said to hold it in.
I told him, you cannot leave us
Do
alone
not leave.
on Twitter. Now we can say whatever we like. Actually,
Yeah.
probably we're doing that anyway.
Bjorn.
Typical.
Okay, so
Web series? Do you want to do one?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I want to do one.
Sure.
Yes.
So yes is the answer. Let's do that. I think obviously it'd be a bit harder than that. But we're always exploring ways to expand the lore into other media. We're trying to find ways to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's all bandwidth and time and partners and finding the right people and people who get the right vision and the right ideas. We're always trying to do that. So it's a cool thing. It's a cool vibe.
Absolutely. Question by Evolution Hunter. Will survivors ever have passive stats, like 5% more healing speed, for example? That's an interesting question. I always say never say never. I always say never say never. No. But it's not something that we want to do at the moment. Anyways, we can also talk of why we did it this way.
It's true. Yeah. We can, but you just opened up a giant set of 27 meetings in my head simultaneously.
Right, I know. It was a difficult question.
mean, this is always this way when you're making a multiplayer game. You always come down to these fundamental choices about: do I do it the same way other games do it because it's familiar to everyone, as part of it? Do I do it that way because it's the best way to do it? Does every game have a right to be individual and unique and stand on its own? Should every game be the same? These are all fundamental design questions you have to face. At the time, because of the nature of Dead by Daylight, and we had this battle, and we'll every designer, creative director versus executive, will have this battle for all of time, because there is so much evidence that devolves games down into the same set. Should red barrels explode? It's the same concept. Should everything be the same in every game? Sometimes, like I felt, Dead by Daylight needed to stand out and be different and unique. Chose this to be a way, and it was always going to be the case that potentially that could upset people because they expect something else.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to do it.
I was convinced the first minute because I think it's really cool that a human character can be whatever they want. It doesn't matter if you choose the girl, if you choose the muscle guy, if you choose it doesn't matter.
Especially especially when you take it down to levels of gender as well. I mean, for me that was a no-brainer. But even beyond that, we could still have had a class-based system, and you still could have a class-based system. It's not like games don't exist with a class-based system that are brilliant and amazing and wonderful.
Yeah.
And Dead by Daylight could be that as well. The hybrid system in Dead by Daylight, I think, fits the gameplay because the nature of the gameplay is it's not a team-based game. It's not a unique individual-based game. It's a weird hybrid that's designed to work the way it works. That's exactly what we set out to do. So I think it fits the hybrid, but I like it's always going to be a case of opinions on this one. Some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it.
At some point, we just have to take a path, and that's what we chose.
We took a path.
We took a bath?
We took a path, but it was
path or bath?
Ooh, interesting alternative situation.
Do you have a favorite part of the lore? Do you have a favorite part of the lore? Do you have a favorite character or
yeah I think that's a good question, like a specific thing. I mean, I like about I don't have a specific part I like better than others. I like the desperation. I like the fact there's no escape.
Yeah.
Like the place of eternal repetition. It's fun. It fits what we were doing. The dread, the feeling of you escape, but you don't really escape. That's got a good hook to me. The entity endlessly enjoying your torment over and over again while you think maybe. We always talk about this in the development as well. The perception of hope.
Yes.
Like we called crawling. Matt was the one who created the term. Dying with benefits. It's like you're dead. Like it's just dying with benefits.
Yeah.
The hook is dying with benefits.
Yeah.
You say that you can watch other people, but we'll probably all die anyway. Anyway, it's fun.
What I like the most is the concept around how the entity is punching holes in reality to get people. So the fact that it appears and why it appears in specific places and at a specific moment.
Have you ever explained that?
No, we can explain it now.
We can.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can if you want. Like, it's true. Like, yeah, it's true. Like, I mean, that's a fun part.
If you've been following all the lore bits of all the characters, you might have guessed as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the entity can influence a region of the world. It obviously doesn't exist in the same plane as the world. It exists somewhere else, but it does have areas of the world it has more influence on others. And once it has a crack, it can influence things in it. So it needs to open a way to be able to grow. Obviously, the people are actually people. I don't know. Again, this is a secret law bit. They are the people in the entities realm are actually people. They're not dead. There's no law that we know.
There's no law.
There's no law that says that these people, their bodies have been found in the woods, and they're all missing. They all exist in the entities realm. But in order to bring a physical object through, the entity has to create an extreme, violent reaction. They can't do it themselves. So if you follow the lore or read the stories about all the killers and what they were when they were in the real world, because every killer was something in the real world, they affect them to create this terrible event. They're not just killers in the real world. They were normal people. Sometimes they were killers. It was easy for the entity, and sometimes they weren't. Had to be manipulated and corrupted by the entity. And then once that event is created, the entity takes the person and corrupts them further in the world of the entity and continues to torture them over as long as is necessary until they'll do the bidding for the entity.
Yeah, so sometimes this corruption will actually give them the power they have.
Yeah.
And one of the great bits is with Sally, the nurse.
Yeah.
That one is actually really good and really shows this concept.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so look back on some of the stories if you want with that in mind. And
Gen Jump is asking, could we ever see any survivors and killers from older time periods?
yes.
Absolutely.
You already have.
Yeah, I mean we're in
that's
the
it.
same kind of period.
But you're right. Like we have toyed and talked about more extreme versions, but
we already have survivors and killers from very far past in concepts. They exist within the studio. They're just not in the game yet.
Maybe we have to understand why the entity is active at this period of time and not another at this particular point in time.
Could we learn some lore behind the hatch? Where does it lead to? Well, I think the hatch is.
You have to ask yourself. In the game, there are certain things that don't seem to fit. There's a hatch.
Yeah.
There's some generators.
Yeah.
There's some gates that are linked to those generators, and they're all connected in one way or another.
Yes.
So the hatch.
I'd say even the items.
Even absolutely the items, and some of the descriptions of the items will give you clues to what this is. So the hatch is built by someone.
Okay, yeah, let's go all in. There is a character that everybody kind of
just do it. This is it.
There is a character that everybody kind of ignore.
Yeah,
he's already in the game. He's already part of the game. He's a very important character to the whole lore. But that's it.
That's it. That's as far as you can go.
That's it. Could it be a potential competition where user can design costume, clothing ideas for killers, survivors, or even new characters, and the top get their design implemented into the game? Yeah, I'd love that.
That's a great idea.
I'd love that.
That's just exactly the kind of thing we should aspire to do.
Yeah, absolutely. What did Anna do with the girls that died in her house because they didn't get food from her? Oh, that is actually not a fact.
It's not canon.
So Hannah is the Huntress.
Yes.
In case you missed that bit. And she keeps kids, little girls in her house, and she feeds them. They don't necessarily die from starvation, but it's not necessarily a lifestyle that can keep you alive very long. So what did she do with the girls? She would try to take care of them as like a mother, but she's just incapable of doing that properly. That's all.
Corrupted.
They would always end up dying of something. Any other questions you guys have? I'm running out.
Never run out of questions. We'll have to start making them up.
Yeah. Well, something is coming. Lovely Ginger Snaps is asking, what is with that golden toolbox?
Tell me about the golden toolbox.
Yeah, you don't remember the golden toolbox?
Now you say it, I have a flashback. Does it exist?
Yeah, there's actually golden toolbox.
Is there gold in the golden?
They're golden. They're
Yeah,
golden,
well, they
and
should
they're
be.
always out of reach. And there's a couple actually. There's more than just one. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Very hard to know what that's all about.
No idea. I have no idea. Can't say.
Can't say, won't say. Won't say, can't say. Which one? Which one, Dave? Spit it out. Come on, let's go all in. What's the golden
No,
toolbox? I'm not.
No, not about the golden toolbox.
Not this time?
No.
Shh. Enough.
Yeah. So while we're waiting for other questions, we had prepared some fun things to look at.
Yes, that's true.
So we could jump to another game for a minute.
Let's do that. Let's jump. I think we should look at some old Naughty Bear, and you'll see why.
Yes.
You may go like, I don't want to do that.
No, why
It's not-
are you doing this to us? It's
Well,
because
Yes, you
yeah.
can.
So as you know, we just released Leatherface on Dead by Daylight, and it's super exciting. I mean, it's an horror icon and everything, and it reminded us of
It felt familiar.
Yeah, it felt familiar of another time when we were working on Naughty Bear, and we actually did a couple of look-alike. How did you call it? Looky-likey characters or costumes for Naughty Bear, and one of them was actually the guy. If, Bjorn, if you can show it to us, look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
And you can check the parody video we did for him as well on YouTube when you have time.
Yeah, we actually did a couple of these in Naughty Bear. We did next one, Pete, please. Penny Bear.
Penny Bear was great. That hammer was particularly funny. It squeaked, if I recall.
It did squeak.
There
was great.
Oh dear, there were many great weapons.
That one I don't remember how he's called.
He looks familiar though.
Yeah.
I don't remember what he was called.
I don't know what that is. We did this guy, Freddy Krueger.
And he actually returned because he was in Naughty Bear 1 as well.
Yeah,
I don't know why we
that's
decided
right.
to do the same one twice, but we did.
Wow.
Do you want to see the trailer for
It's good.
the Naughty Bear 1?
Yeah, we should. We should after
check that.
these.
Oh, yeah,
we did
that's
this
right.
guy.
Oh, that was Naughty Bear 1 too. So I guess we
Yeah.
just
That was good.
yeah, classic.
Slasher Bear, right?
Yeah.
And
A hybrid.
Yeah, we did a couple others spoof like this of. One was Batman as well.
Yeah, I mean the
Bad Bear.
the Slasher Bear and the Crew Bears. It was, I think, I may be wrong, but I think in both cases they were pre-order bonuses only.
Right.
So they're very like we got a lot of people like asking, how do I get this? Blah, blah, blah. I hate
Yeah.
Pre-order bonuses can be really like, it's a shame when people
Yes.
can't get hold of some stuff
Yes.
sometimes.
So do we have the videos?
Yeah.
That's-
Leon, if you
it's
want to
fun.
show,
yeah, it's fun.
why not? If you want to show either Slasher Bear final or Freddy Bear final, just for fun. I can see these were trailers we did for the original Naughty Bear. It's been a while, I have to say, since I've seen this. It's so good.
The dog.
I've forgotten completely.
Extremely Naughty Crew Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. They were fun times.
We had a lot of fun on Naughty Bear. So dramatic.
I know, it's so overly ridiculously dramatic. But it's fun. Like we did these ourselves. It was good times.
Yeah.
It was,
Oh, the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we did it using free cam and stills and all sorts of stuff. It was good.
So good. All right. Back to
Serious questions. We have serious questions.
Yeah. Well, we.
I'm a bit disappointed I haven't had a really hardcore question on balance that I can't answer.
Yeah. Please go crazy on technical and balance questions right now.
And the answer will be.
But before that, we do have, so every week, Julien, you know Julien,
Yes,
our stat guy. We have a stat guy. It prepares a little document for us to look into the
So
stream.
do you have a document?
Yeah, we do have a presentation about. It's called Bloody Stats. So that's a thing he does for us.
I really like stats.
So game mode.
Mm.
It's interesting. So what do Survivor click? You know, when they want to play the game. So yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't find that in any way surprising.
No, absolutely not. Next one, please. So yeah, groups of survive with friends. So usually it's buddies playing. That's not too dangerous, killer. You shouldn't be too much scared about groups of two.
Killers aren't scared, are they?
Yeah, they're a little bit scared.
How could they be? They go.
Yeah,
Okay,
it happens.
Don't need to talk about it. I'm no killer. I'm a survivor.
Next slide, please.
Useless killer.
This is quite interesting. So yeah, most games are going to be two friends and two strangers against a killer.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Or four strangers.
Yeah.
So there it goes. I mean, it's interesting. You can do whatever you want with this.
It just goes to show how many different potential matchups you have. I mean,
yes,
that's a balance issue, obviously.
All right, what do we have next? Do we have questions? Oh yeah, let me go check. I'm not sure if someone asked this in another stream, but can you give us?
We are so re-answering questions.
No, we're not. No. Can you give us more details of how Hillbilly escaped from his captivity? It's asked by Serika Izumi. Because the Hillbilly was in a box of bricks.
He was. Well, if I recall, in a version of the timeline, he killed his parents and escaped.
Yeah. Did he kill his parents and escape, or did he escape and kill his parents?
Or did his parents die and then he escaped?
So this is a part that even we don't know.
I'm going to look at the magical 30-page law document. I think it pretty much says, I'm fairly sure he killed his parents for endless years of torture.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, like, that's the thing about these characters is that in not all cases, they're not all clear-cut evil people. I mean, the Hillbilly is not to be vindicated for his actions by any stretch of the imagination, but there may have been some circumstances that led him to be easily manipulated by the entity.
Yes.
And some are harder, some are easier.
As you might have noticed, the Hillbilly is quite strong. So with a little extra push from the entity, maybe you just broke free.
And maybe the entity influenced the parents too. Like we know there was entity influence. I mean, if you follow the story of the original Macmillan estate, there is knowledge in the real world of these weak spots. People know. People have tracked it. There's more than one, and people know about it. Some people do.
Good stuff. Are the entity touch survivor drained of hope, or are they full of so much hope that the entity has embraced them? So entity touch is that special outfit that you get, so that the entity is actually within you.
I would argue it's a corruption.
Yeah, I would say too.
I mean, yeah, doesn't seem like you really want any form of entity matter
on
touching you.
Absolutely
not as an ideal. Some people will embrace it, but as we know, some people have embraced it.
Mm-hmm. I hope this answers your question.
Eventually, everyone embraces it.
Yeah. Okay, so still waiting for questions. I mean, I know there's a lot on Twitch going on, but we're not really looking at that flow of questions.
So beyond all fast and unimportant questions.
But the muds are slowly getting questions out of this and putting it on our Discord.
Are they mainly who the hell is Ash? Why is he sitting in that chair? Why is he spouting about the law?
While we're waiting, I also prepared some images. It's actually it's a surprise thing. I don't think Matt would be happy
He's not here though.
But he's
In
not
fact,
here.
I doubt he even has access to it.
So I can do whatever the fuck I want.
And in the worst case scenario, you just blame me, and there's really nothing you can do about it.
Okay.
Ash did this. What did I do?
So Ash forced me to show you some concepts about costumes
Oh yeah, love
that
it.
might happen.
I really want to see them. Make it happen.
Okay. So Bjorn is trying to find them, I think. Oh yeah, they're on the folder, same place.
So nice.
I'm not sure how I call the thing.
Secret,
Customization.
extremely
probably?
secret customization file.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, you found it.
Let's do it. I want to see
Okay.
it.
So we've started some concept work on alternative costumes for some of the survivors that had none. So here goes.
Wahoo,
Some
who knows
previews. Some previews.
Oh.
So here we have David King with his security officer outfit.
Like it.
Yeah, so David King obviously has accepted shady contracts in the past before going into the entity realm. So this could have been one of them, being a security officer. And here's the little fight version. So as we know as well, he's been doing some illegal fights.
Illegal fighting.
Yeah, I like the one with the wife beater.
Yeah, I really do.
It's
It's
really
great.
cool. Here's Feng Min alternative outfits. These are extremely cool. All of them, as you're gonna see.
Love it.
Yeah, I want this now. It doesn't exist though. It's just a concept.
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist for real.
Want it.
That was so good, so good. I want it now, but I can't. So, I mean, don't ask us when this is coming live. I mean, we're just in concepts, so some of them might never happen.
The first thing they're going to ask, Dave, is when are these
When
things
is it
are
ready?
coming?
I know,
Just show them some
but
concepts.
hey,
But-
just enjoy the preview.
Yeah, enjoy. Or not preview, or just concept.
Yeah, there's just concepts. We
Concepts,
don't
just
know.
concepts. You just
We don't
paint
know.
them and you go, that's pretty, it's good, we can all have concepts, it's all good
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
So much trouble.
So
Anyway,
much trouble. Well,
they
it's your
look
fault.
cool. For
It's
sure,
your
I
fault.
forgot indeed that. I like concepts. Concept arts are good.
Yeah.
It may or may not be misleading. Do we have any disclaimers on that? This may or may not be entirely misleading.
Yeah, you
Great.
just did.
Oh, good. Okay.
Mavo
Just-
is asking, does Lovecraft influence your work on DBD,
Yeah.
especially the entity? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure,
absolutely.
for sure.
I'm a fan. I'm
I
a
mean,
fan of
yeah,
everything.
exactly. Like we talked about, like Stephen King influencing us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But surely
So one feeds the
Lovecraft,
other, right?
like, I mean, like the for sure, and many members of the team too. I mean, like again, you can talk as much as you want about lore and backstory and history and meaning, but at the end of the day, you've got a team of people who are making all this stuff happen, and it's kind of pointless to utterly ignore their input in the team. And we have a lot of Lovecraftian fans.
Yeah.
Mr. Varas and other people, from animators, artists, designers, programmers. A lot of people have got a lot of input on the lore, and that's why it's nice not to just have this rigid story that's fixed in time.
Exactly.
People can bring and add bits to it, make suggestions, and you can bolt it on. Like even the entity itself, like even though we had it as a concept, it was brought in its current form by a completely different person. It wasn't made by us. Like it was made by the art team who really wanted to do this,
yeah.
and we morphed and adapted it into the lore
Yeah.
that we wanted to make it.
Absolutely, yeah.
For example, and then it goes on from that. Like I mean, you build on, you build it into the UI, and you build it into the they take on their form. I mean, we develop. Making a game takes a long time, and when you get these influences and they become more solid, then you build on them and they become more interesting.
But it's a good point. I mean, working on a artistic project as a team makes something absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Like that a single individual would not necessarily build.
No, I mean, and obviously there is possible for great geniuses of this world to individually create a work of art, but like game development is such a team-based thing. It's much nicer to involve everyone as much as possible.
Absolutely. Sergeant Kabuki Man is asking, can we have Ash as a survivor?
By all means, I'm already there. You just can't see me.
Okay, you have to do the code.
Do you not have the code? Did you not give them the code?
No, not yet.
Did you take me out?
No, you're in there.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you have to do. You have to press a. No, I won't say it.
Don't say it. Did
There's
you
a-
not tell
there's
them
a code.
already? Did they miss that stream?
Yeah, maybe. You have to.
Is
you
that
have
the
to-
stream you deleted?
Oh, maybe.
Remember the one that we were going to do?
Well,
and
I'm
then
sure
we
someone
cancelled
could
it?
dig
The one where we gave away,
or hack their way through.
There would have to be a hack. Because it was, that was when we gave away all the free stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think you have to hit the
Yeah.
cheese key.
When you find the cheese key
Mhm.
and you hit it,
You hit
it
it.
will appear as a survivor.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Anyway, am I going to appear as a survivor?
No, I don't know. It's, if you want.
I don't know.
If you
Like,
want.
You first.
No, absolutely not. I've seen what people do with Dead by Daylight models.
Yeah. That's really the root of this? Oh,
Yeah.
Great. Oh, great. Okay. Do not give them the code. Do not
No.
unlock me.
Okay.
Leave me in the
Um,
box.
Anything else, guys? Because I'm running out of running out of things.
What else do we have on the big list? Talk about cheese,
Cake.
talk about cake, or other foods? That's not a great one. What about our 25th anniversary? That was a question.
Oh yeah, someone asked about the 25th anniversary. So we, the studio, just celebrated their 25th year of existence.
Yep, that was great.
There was a party.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was everyone had a good chance to pat each other on the back and say well done.
Mm-hmm. There were balloons.
It was great balloons.
Mhm. And mysteriously, the only balloons that are left are red and are.
That's because
It's-
no one wants those.
Yeah, it's very creepy.
It is. They're all around your workstations.
What else? I mean, it's a great achievement. I mean, the 25th year.
And it's crazy,
in,
really.
the-
I mean,
the
you've
game
been
industry.
here a while.
Yeah, some
I've
years.
been here a while. We've both, almost 25 years between us.
We've seen a lot of things.
Yeah.
Different things.
Exactly. So no, it's fun. I mean, there's
yeah.
not a lot of independence that lasts that long. I guess we're kind of hybrid, but it's been good times.
Mm. Yeah, the cool thing that I think we have to be proud of is that we've, I mean, we're doing a lot of different great product at this studio, and we've been working on having this game, this
Yeah.
horror game in
Wow.
existence for quite some time.
Yeah, quite
And,
some time.
So
I mean,
it's a big part of the studio.
and like we've been connected to that process for quite some
A
time.
long time.
We've taken a lot of twists and turns, different projects, different journeys. Like that's why it's fun to look at that Naughty Bear stuff.
Yes.
And do you want to show Jelly Wars? Have we done enough Naughty Bear?
Oh no, let's do a last Naughty Bear thing. Yes.
Yeah, well, seeing as that you won't see me again for a while.
Yeah, for a while. I
Then you
guess.
might as well look at one more Naughty Bear. I'll make you suffer that.
All right.
If you could show Naughty Bear multiplayer. So this was a collection of modes that were in Naughty Bear. We launched with 4. We
Peggy
had 4 more
12.
that came as DLC. But in one of the modes, you'll see something that is quite familiar.
Still cracks me up. So good. This game is so toxic.
This game is
So salty.
It's the saltiest thing in the world. But this was such a good mode.
So the goal of the game here was to get the golden cake and swap it.
And this one was when you had to use it, you could just master it. But the
Then it's
next
golden
one,
gun.
yeah, golden gun.
The Uzi.
Jelly Wars was Naughty Bear against 3 other bears. They had to collect jellies from in a map. The others had to protect them while they tried to repair these jelly machines, and then Naughty Bear would have to kill them before they completed it.
So good. Is it an asymmetrical multiplayer?
It's asymmetrical multiplayer game.
So good. So
and-
before its time.
Yeah, I know, it was so before its time. And I remember it was like, because we'd had this idea for so long. This was our first ever attempt to try and do something like that. And ultimately, it was obviously a huge influence on us doing Dead by Daylight.
Oh no! Don't do that, Bear. That was Cuddles.
Why did they do that? You could just do it for fun. I don't even remember.
I don't. We have to play it.
We have to play the game.
So, okay, we have one last question. Where did the real killer names come from? Like Evan McMillan? Are they from some devs? It's a good question.
Yes, they're from some devs.
They are? Evan Macmillan
Oh!
No,
You
I mean,
were
no,
they
like actual,
devs?
no.
Then no.
No, they're not. They could, but they're
Absolutely
not. So what about Evan Macmillan? Because you came with this one.
Yes.
Oh, you came with most of them.
True.
Anyways.
I just made it up.
Yeah, it's just made up.
Well,
but there's a little bit of
it needed to fit a sort of oldie worldy name.
Yes.
And it needed,
So the raid,
yes.
his origin was important.
Exactly. So you needed to have a
Jomo
name. Exactly.
makes sense.
Exactly. You needed to have, like, it definitely wanted to make sure that they had an element. I mean, it was not without some googling, to say the least, to try and tie them in together. But they are all original characters. They're obviously not based on anyone who exists.
No.
But they were designed to have a name that fits who they were and where they came from, and it was also an attempt to set them out of time slightly, and also at a different place in the world, because it was important to us that the entity could reach through anywhere in the world.
Exactly. Usually when I name characters, I look at the origin, the part of the world they come from, and the year they come from.
Yeah.
Anna, for example, is a very common name in that particular region of the Russian Empire at that time.
For sure.
So just makes sense. So that's how we create them. So I think that's it.
Yeah.
Do you have any famous last words?
I have no famous last words. I was never very good at this. Was
That's
it words
it
of
then.
wisdom? Did Matt not send any?
I know.
Does he still do it?
I don't know. Does he?
How wise? He's wise though.
He's getting less wise.
Less wise with time?
Yeah.
I
that's
don't
it.
believe that.
No.
No.
Okay. Well, that's going to be our wise words.
Wise words. Come on, Matt. Come and save us.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Nice to see you all again.
Thank you, Ash. Thank you your precious time to be here.
Thank you for inviting me.
And thank you, Bjorn. Thank
Bjorn,
you,
thank
Muds.
you.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you. Maybe Matt's not even here next week, and we'll have to do it again.
Then we'll just be doing the whole thing again.
Yeah. We'll like the same stream, like the same.
This
things.
we'll do the same stream but backwards.
Okay. Perfect.
It's gonna be
so
great. Or upside down. I don't mind.
Oh
Side
yeah,
down.
upside
But
down.
not
would be
both.
good. Okay. Have fun.